Maple Grove is hands down my favorite city in the Twin Cities when it comes to the best cities in Minnesota to live in. And it just so happens that I actually do live here. Now, I know that not every city is perfect, so in this video, I'm going to be giving you my top pros and cons of Maple Grove so that you can answer the question of if you want to be my neighbor or not. Stay tuned to find out. What's going on, guys? Brandon Archie here, aka your favorite Minnesota realtor, and today I'm going to be breaking down all of the pros and cons of living in my favorite city in the Twin Cities, Maple Grove. But first, as always, if you are thinking about moving to Minnesota, whether it be now or next year, then shoot me an email at brandonarchie@kw.com so that we can schedule a meeting to talk about what it is you're looking for and put together a plan to make your move as smooth as possible. And if you find this video useful, please make sure to hit that like button for me and also consider subscribing. Now, let's get started. All right, so as I mentioned, Maple Grove is not only my favorite city in the Twin Cities, but it's also the city that I've lived in for the last 6 years. Now, it's also actually the very first city tour that I ever did on this channel 2 years ago, which, if you're curious, you can watch that here. Just don't judge me. Like I said, it was my first one. Maple Grove is a suburb located in the northwest corner of the Twin Cities and is about 25 minutes to Minneapolis and 40 minutes to the airport. Now, although Maple Grove has a lot going for it, there are some things that I really don't like about it. So make sure to stay till the end of the video, but for now, let's start off with pro number one. Pro number one is that Maple Grove is a great city to raise a family. Now, I myself have a 14-year-old son named Devon, who, if you've been following me for a while, you've probably seen him in a couple videos. Now, Maple Grove is what I would consider a family-focused city because there are plenty of family-friendly activities to do, and not to mention that the majority of the residents in Maple Grove are families. Now, if you have kids and you want them to grow up with plenty of kids their age, then Maple Grove is where to be. Central Park is one example of places where you can take the kids. There's a lake that you can walk around, a park for the kids to play in, basketball and pickleball courts, and even an ice skating rink for the winter. Maple Grove also holds an annual chalk art festival in the summer where artists flood Main Street with all kinds of chalk art. Chalk art. There we go. The Maple Grove Community Center has basketball, swimming, an ice rink, and even a teen center with video games. And all of this is no more than a 10-minute drive, tops. Your kids won't get bored living here. Pro number two is the convenience. Now, everything in Maple Grove is located in Arbor Lakes, which is right in the center of the city. Grocery stores, bars, and restaurants, and even an outdoor shopping mall. Regardless of what it is you need, you can find it right here in Maple Grove without ever having to leave the city. It makes things that much more convenient. And with me being a realtor who works all around the Twin Cities, I spend a lot of time in the car, and after a long day of work, I don't want to have to drive too far to get the things that I need. So it's nice knowing that I can just drive 10 minutes to Arbor Lakes and get anything that I would ever need. And keep in mind that I live in the far northwest corner of Maple Grove as well, so chances are you may even be closer to Arbor Lakes than I am. Pro number three is that Maple Grove is very safe. Now, keep in mind that every city is going to have some crime, but I can tell you with confidence from my own experience, of course, that I pretty much park my car outside in the driveway and I barely ever lock my doors. In fact, even when I'm out and about, I still very rarely lock my doors. Of course, now that I'm putting this on the internet, I may have to start. Now, again, consider this as my disclaimer. I'm speaking from my own experience living here for the last 6 years, and I am not recommending that you leave your doors unlocked. But I have never once felt anything close to unsafe in Maple Grove. Now, if you're currently watching this video and you live here, then leave a comment below if you've had the same experience as me or not. Pro number four is the amount of parks that Maple Grove has. Now, I already mentioned Central Park, which is in the middle of Arbor Lakes, but there are plenty of other parks scattered throughout the city. The closest one to me being Weaver Lake Park, which is right down the street, and it's also the same park that I was in when I shot my last Maple Grove video. Now, my favorite park, of course, is Elm Creek Park, which is located on the border of Maple Grove and Champlin. And Elm Creek is one of the Twin Cities' 56 regional parks and has everything you would ever want to do there. They have a playground for the kids, swimming, picnic area, cross-country skiing, frisbee golf, and more importantly, miles of paved biking and walking trails. Now, the park itself is 49,000 acres and it's the biggest park in the Three Rivers Park District. You can literally get lost if you're not paying attention. Kind of like how I just recently tried going on a 5-mile bike ride but ended up turning into 13 because I took a couple wrong turns. Now, there are way more things that Elm Creek Park has to offer other than what I just named, but there are way too many to list. So if you want to learn more about Elm Creek, then I'll leave the link to their website in the description. Pro number 5 is the diversity. Now, Maple Grove has people of all ages and generations, as well as all colors and ethnicities. The people here are nice and very helpful, and anyone will feel right at home here. Now, before I list off some of the cons of Maple Grove, if you are finding this video helpful, then please make sure to hit that like button for me to help this video find other people like you that are looking for videos like this. And if you want to further help me and this channel, then also please consider subscribing. Okay, so starting off with con number 1, that would be the traffic in Arbor Lakes. Now, it's a good thing that everything is so convenient and all in one place, but that can also have its downsides because that means that traffic can get a little backed up at times. Mostly during rush hour when people are getting off of work. There are a lot of different restaurants in Maple Grove as well, with the most popular one probably being Malone's. And if you go there during happy hour, it's all but guaranteed to be packed. The street layout isn't the best, and that leaves a lot of stores in the area being tucked away with only 1 or 2 ways to get to them, leading to a lot of traffic and congestion. Con number 2 is the lack of public transportation. So if you don't have a car and you need to get somewhere, then Uber or Lyft is probably going to be your only option because Maple Grove is pretty car dependent. Now, if you work downtown Minneapolis, Maple Grove does have one park and ride station where you can park your car and take the bus to and from downtown. But other than that, you'll need a vehicle if you want to live here. Leading me right into number 3 would be Maple Grove's distance from Minneapolis. Now, Maple Grove is roughly 25 to 30 minutes to Minneapolis, depending on which side of Maple Grove you're in. Now, this probably isn't going to affect everyone, but the reason why I consider it a con is in the event you want to go out to the city and have a nice night out, maybe hit some breweries, a nice dinner and drinks, or catch a baseball game, you're either going to have to watch how much you drink so you can drive back home, have somebody that you're with sober cab, or you're going to have to sit in an Uber for 30 minutes all the way back home at 2 a.m. Now, while 30 minutes really isn't that long at all considering my entire job is driving around the Twin Cities, 30 minutes in the car after you've had a few drinks feels like a lifetime sometimes. Con number 4 are the home prices. Now, with such a great city that has so much going for it, there are going to be some trade-offs, and home prices are one of them. Now, Maple Grove is not cheap, and it may not be in everybody's budget. Townhomes here can be anywhere from $250,000 on the super low end all the way up to $400,000 in some places. And to find a single family home in Maple Grove, your budget would have to start off at least $375,000. And even still, you may have a hard time finding something. Now, if you want a single family home here, then I would suggest preparing to spend at least $400,000 plus for a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. Anything less than that, and you're more than likely going to be looking at a townhome. Now, Maple Grove does have homes in all age ranges though, from the 1970s all the way up to brand new construction homes. And con number 5 is one that will resonate with all of my fellow foodies, and that is the fact that 99% of the food options in Maple Grove are all big chains, which is ironic because a recent article just named Maple Grove the restaurant capital of the Twin Cities. Now, we do have a lot of food options, but if you're looking for that local feel, that mom and pop restaurant, that just isn't Maple Grove. The only place like that we have in Maple Grove is called The Lookout, which is a local bar/restaurant right in the middle of a residential area, like right next to someone's house. Now, they have volleyball courts, live music, and their famous roasted chicken. Well, it's not really famous, but it is pretty good though. So now that you know a little bit about my favorite city in the Twin Cities, I have one question for you. Who wants to be my neighbor?